First of all, good day. Learners, my lesson today is about from your CAPS curriculum, economics. Myself, I'm Professor Michael van Wyk. I'm in the College of Education. And I'm passionate about education. I'm here that you will learn through this presentation on this particular lesson for grade 10 on circular flow. And therefore, I think you will enjoy. It will deepen your understanding how the economy is working. It will help you to understand the importance of that. So based on that, I'm going now to open my presentation for you. On my presentation, I want to put it in slide mode for you so you can clearly see. So what you see now is about this particular project that we are busy with. We are here to help you. Here to help you to understand very important concepts. In economics, there's 42 concepts you need to understand from your grade 8 up to grade 12 if you continue with economics. And by the way, you are in economics, and I hope one day I will meet one of you that is economist or economics teacher. Now, today's lesson is about grade 10 economics. It's based on the CAPS curriculum. And in the CAPS curriculum, according to the annual teaching plan for the year, I will do this particular lesson is coming from term 1. Now, in term 1, we focus on, and I know you already focus on the circular flow of income. And to do that, you need to understand the interactions in the economy. And in the economy, there's different role players. We call them participants. And these participants, role players, play a crucial role how the economic growth or whether the economic slowdown, whether the economy is in a recession. Now, for this particular lesson, learners, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to do the following. To identify the main role players or participants in the circular flow. And based on that, the circular flow will even explain you the importance how goods and services are moved from between these very important role players. Secondly, you will also see the interactions between your households. And I know some of you will know another concept for households are consumers, right? Then we also have firms, that is your businesses or your corporate. Then we have our governments. There's 3 layers of governments or spheres of government. That is your local government, where you are in your area, where your school is. And the next level is then your provincial, your provincial government, where your premiers are, who are the political leaders there. And then you have your government. And I know some of you will tell me, no, Prof, there's a new government called GNU, the Government of National Unity. So that is very important. Then you also have another big role player, which is your financial institutions. And these financial institutions, you will know them, they are banks and so on, and they operate within the market economy, within this particular circular flow. And then the foreign sector. Now, the foreign sector can be a country where South Africa have an agreement, like the United States of America, or we have agreement with Lesotho, where we got water from Lesotho. So in exchange, we give either Lesotho funding or funds or money, or we give them resources. Then you will also learn a particular teaching strategy, which I call the role play. A role play teaching strategy is more a learner-centered, or where learners engage with each other. And I think you will enjoy this one. And finally, you will also have an activity, different activities. I will give you, I think, 2-3 activities to do that. So this is my lesson objectives, what you must understand. So first of all, let's start off in grade 9 in the EMS or grade 8. You need to know what is the economy, right? So the economy is about how goods and services are moved between these participant role play. So, for a very important definition, economics is the study of how households, consumers and business and firms, governments, there are three levels, and the society, that's including banks, how they make choices as to how to utilize the limited resources. Now, limited resources, I believe that you already done a particular very important concept. It's called scarcity. So we have not unlimited resources like water. It's a scarcity, and we need to solve the problem. And based on that resources in economics is to satisfy our needs and wants. And we have different needs and wants. You will agree with me. You will even study that when you do business studies. Yeah. So economics is the study of how we can best increase the nation's standard of living and the citizen happiness with the limited resources that we have and make available to us that you need to understand. So now what I'm doing now in the next explanation in this lesson, I want to expose you to a very important concepts. And these concepts are very important. So first of all, you need to first understand the concepts or the participants in the circular economy, or I coined this the closed economy. Now in the closed economy, there's only two role players. The first role player is your households. We call them consumers. So that is a very important concept. The next role player is your business or your firms. They are also important, but they need each other. They need to take hands. Now, what is the role of your consumer or your households? They are the primary suppliers of labor, right? So when you're a teacher, when you teach one day, you become a teacher. So you're selling your labor. If you're a lawyer, you render a service to your client, so you're selling that, right? So you are a supplier of the labor. You also also are the important with land, capital, and entrepreneurship talent or entrepreneurship skills, and those primary suppliers. They then produce this, and these four very important as concepts: labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship. It's called factors of production, and I believe you will learn in grade 11. We are in grade 11. You will deal in the first term about the factors of production, and by the way, you already have done possibly in grade 9 the factors of production. Now, the household is very important in the flow, in the closed economy, in the circular flow. They receive income from business. Why? Because they have now supplied them with their labor and their skills and so on. And business give them an income. And so what they do with the income, they spend that income on goods and services. And who produce the goods and services? Is business. Because you have given it. And a simple example, an individual like myself, I'm working for a company. Like I'm working for UNISA. I am an employee. I'm employee, and UNISA is the employee. So I receive a salary for the work I'm done, whether I'm writing an article or book chapter, or I teach online, or I supervise. That is very important. And with that salary or that income, another word, salary, income. Income is very important. With that income, I buy goods and services because I have needs and wants. On the other hand, your business is also part of this closed economy. And the business are the primary producers of goods and services. You will agree with me, right? So if you want to have a cell phone, you go now to a cell phone outlet. For example, MTN, Vodacom, and you can then select your type of cell phone, right? So a cell phone is one of the goods produced by your business. So then also the business provides services, like for example, a municipality, as an example, can be seen as a business because they're operating on business principle. And the municipality come and collect your bags, your average bags, as well as they provide water and electricity for you, right? So that is a service. When you go to the hospital, it's a service. Or you go to a private doctor, And the private doctor then help you, maybe possibly you are sick, and then your parents paying for that. That is a service. So how are they then are important, this business in the circular flow? They offer goods and services. An example is a company producing and selling products like cars. Like if you go to a Coca-Cola factory, right? So the Coca-Cola factory is the company or the franchise. They have now bottle Coca-Cola or Fanta, and they produce that Fanta bottles, when say for example 2 liters or liters of Coke or Fanta, and they sell that in the closed economy. And who is the person that boy that who's the participants or who's the role players? Your consumers or your households. Now, here is a nice picture of how a circular flow in a closed economy is operating. Right on my left-hand side of the screen, you will see there's a house and there's a firm. The one is blue and the firms are more dark blue. Now you can see how they operate with each other. The firms producing goods and services, right? The households buy these goods and services, and they're paying for that. So the consumer have an end expenditure because they buy these goods and services, and they're paying that. Where did they get this money? They get this money from business because business pay them a salary or an income. On the other side, the firm are paying the household wages and rent and dividends. If you invest in a business, you will get shares. By the way, in grade 12, you will learn about the different types of shares. It's very important. And the household produce then the factors of production, as we have seen in the beginning, like your labor, your land, your capital, and your entrepreneurship. Now, when we move to the other side, on my right-hand side, so on my right-hand side, you will see there's a factor market and there's a product market. That is very important economic concepts. And you can see when you first look at business, so business produce goods and services, né? And these business are selling these goods and services to households, and household, this is the consumer, they buy these goods and services. Now that is called the product market. Now the households is receiving an income, we call it salary or wages, and they use that salary to buy goods and services. So the one is connected to the other one. So business, in this case, is firms. Consumers is the household. They work closely in a circular economy, and particularly in a closed economy. So this is only a small depiction of how the circuit flow is working. Now, based on what you have learned now, there's very important role players in a closed economy. And today you have learned there's two very important concepts: your consumer and your business, or your household, or your firm. Both of them are interlinked and they have to play a particular role. Now, for this particular activity, I want you to put yourself in groups. So the groups will be between 2 and 5 learners. So if you can now nicely group yourself in different groups, and you will play a role player. So if you are 4 in a group, one of you will play the business, and one of you will play the consumer, and the other 2 will observe. And when they are finished with this role play activity based on the circular flow, then we will change the roles. Those that was observant, who observe this role play, will do the same. So now, so these are the 2, your household and your business. So each group will get a different cards, right? So I will give the households, I will give them a card on labor, I will give them a card on income, and I will give them a card of goods and services. Now, these consumer goods can be different ideas. Like, for example, maybe a motor car, maybe on that card, maybe it will be maybe a cell phone, maybe it will be food, maybe bread, or it will be sugar. So that is what also. But also, then on the other hand, business. If John is playing business, and Sarah is playing wholesale, or Lebu or and Tabisile. Lebu and Tabisile is playing. Lebu is now the wholesale, and Tabisile is now the business. So I will give them also that cards. I will give them a card for wages and income and salary. I will give that card. So they will then play that role for us. And then we will then set up this mock economy, and each one of you will play around. And for this activity, I will give the class 5 minutes. So in the 5 minutes, you will play this. And I think you will enjoy it. You will agree with me. And then afterwards, when we complete this role play activity, then I will ask you questions, or you can ask questions to the two groups, if there is two groups on the platform. So what did you notice about the flow of money that I will ask? Money and goods. And you will agree there's a clear distinction patterns. And I will also ask you how a wholesale and business depend on each other. Yes, they are depend on each other, as we have indicated previously, and that is important to understand. The next activity is another group activity, but in this case, I will give you the close economy with this particular questions on the right-hand side, questions 1 to question 11. And I believe when you have your own time, you can work it out. It will help you to understand why is wholesale and business important within a close economy. Let's move on. Now I want to expand the economy. I want to make the circular flow bigger now. And now I want to include government and international or foreign trade or foreign sector. And I also want to bring the financial sector in. And now you can see the circular flow is now more open, is now more multiple stakeholders in. And what notice in here, we brought in business. We brought in business in the middle, and business also buy goods and services, and business also produce goods and services. You will agree with me. But what is government asking you for that goods and services? If the government is providing a police service or a teacher services, what they ask from business, what they ask them from household, they ask them tax. So you have to pay your taxes as an individual, but also company. So yes, government play a critical role. So government draw up every year a budget. By the way, you will learn about, I think in grade 11 and 12, you learn about the national budget. So that is more the national income of government. And you know what was in the newspaper about the minister with the budget and all the budget approved. And by the way, yesterday the parliament was discussing the financial framework. Our government must now spend the money that is in. But in this expanding economy, there's now 5 role plays: your household, your firms, your government, your financial sector, and your foreign sector. Now, in this open economy, in the circular flow, I brought now in government. So what is the role of government? Government will collect taxes. And you know there's different type of taxes that we have. We have your personal income tax, which your parents are paying, and myself as a professor. And then also also tax businesses, business paying business tax, because business are now tax because and who is collecting that tax on behalf of government? You will agree with. Thank you, Lebu. Lebu is correct. She said SARS. Yes, SARS is the big tax collector, and the tax season is nearly on hands. I think from the 1st of July. Or the 21st of July, then SARS will start collecting taxes. So that is important. Now, what is government's flow in this whole transfer of household? Government is making welfare payments. You understand the pension, the old age pension, the SD grants, where people that is unemployed go to unemployed offices and withdraw. And government also purchase goods and services from business. That you must also understand. So government, the parliament, they buy electricity from the municipality because they hold meetings there. Is it in Cape Town, where it is in Johannesburg, or or in Pretoria? That is they're doing. The example, they're collecting taxes. Individuals are paying taxes like myself, and companies or business paying taxes. And by the way, the foreign sector, when they input goods, what did you think they pay in government? Let's have the answer. You are correct. Thank you, Victor. I know Victor told me about that he knows that when you import goods and services into the country, they have to pay import duty. Yes, you will learn that in either in business economics. You will also learn that later in the grade 12, the second term. You will learn that. Then the foreign sector, the role they play. They help with. They will help with how the goods and services are flowing into the economy. If we don't have a particular good, say for example, we didn't have enough water, we then import water from the Katsi dam from Lesotho, and that help us because our dams is not, and the rainfall in South Africa. So we buy then water, and what we're giving them to Lesotho, we can give Lesotho vegetables, we can give them agricultural products, we can give them raw materials, and so on and so on. So that is very important in the open economy. And in the open economy now you will see these two big role players. And by the way, why do you think is government so important in this open economy? A government can instruct us through acts, laws, how business must operate, like the employment equity policy, the BEE setting up of companies, the shareholding. Government made the legislation, and business must adhere to it. Even in consumers must adhere to that. Government play a very important role. Government can either grow the economy or they can slow the economy. Government can heat up the economy where they pump more money into. And who is the person that deal with money in South Africa? Who sign on your money that you receive on that way? That is the governor of the Reserve Bank. And I know you will tell me who is that, but thank you very much for that answer. And then the foreign sector. Remember, we have so many countries that government have agreements. And why government do these agreements? They want to bring in foreign investment into the country. So that is then money coming into the country, and these foreign sector, they invest in our economy, and they are part of the open system or the open economy, and they play a crucial role. And you will learn about that in grade 11 when you, even in this grade 10, I think in the third quarter, you will learn a little about foreign trade and development. And then let's see how this diagram is depicted of an open economy, where you will see the household, the government, business, and foreign markets. Now, foreign markets is very important for South Africa. So when South Africa export like your Proteas to the UK buy a lot of South African products, your agricultural products. And you heard the president went to America with his team and to build the relationship. Why? Is because we need foreign investment in our country because of our unemployment rate that we have. And you can still remember that our president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, then explained to the newspaper writers there and even the TV cameras. He explained that South Africa has 600 companies. Can you mention one of them? I like it. Kentucky is here. Most of you like Kentucky because that is an American company. We've got Coca-Cola. Yes, I know some of you like Coca-Cola, but that's a soft drink. So that is very important that you know who are the companies from the United States who's doing business with South Africa. Why? They're doing business here, not with government. Government set the platform or the context, but they do business with other business in South Africa and they come invest here. What companies can you have from the UK, United Kingdom? You will have different companies here investing in South Africa, but South Africa also export other goods to the United Kingdom. That's England. And then also to Australia, we expand to China, where we receive a lot of, and many of you will see, if you look around yourself, you will see a lot of Chinese products. So that is your foreign markets. And these foreign markets are helping us in that. And to help us to grow the economy, and they are a very important part of the circular flow. Now you have learned now about this closed economy. You've learned now about an open economy. Let's go to a project. So I'm giving you a project, and this project is where you need to group yourself. I will not tell you must be with Lebu must now with Victor. No, you will decide because you know each other, right? In our class. So what is happening now? You can be between 3 and 5. And each one of you will play a particular role. I like the 5. So if you decided you will be a household, you will play the role of the household. If you the business, you will play the role of the business. If you government, you will play the government. By the way, this project can also be a role play. But I decided to have a project. Now this project is about, you can see on the screen now, you need to do this project as a group. Now, why did Prof van Wyk want you to work in a group? A group is there to collaborate. But the group and the group members, each one of the group members, if you are belonging group, you take now project 1. If you are in project 1, you need to be individual accountable, right? So you have a responsibility to do your part. If you choose to be the household, you must play the role of the household in this project. If you want to be the government, and you said you're the president or you're the president of the if someone is playing now the financial institution and you say, okay, I am the governor of the Reserve Bank, then you have to play that role, right? If you're foreign sector, and you said, okay, I'm foreign sector, I will play the role of the USA because we are the biggest partner with the USA in this open economy or the open circular flow or this market economy. And then you need to draw your own cards, your income cards. So I need a lot of flashcards, right? You can even draw up a nice placard as a group. I give you only the ideas. But I will see, very important, your written explanation for this particular project. You must go and you must, as a group, decide. And by the way, you can set up your own WhatsApp group to do this because we are an AI, and because you will learn about AI. And the WhatsApp group, if you don't want a WhatsApp group, then you can use other AI tools to do that. But I will assess this in my next session. I will assess each one of you. And this project is count for 50 marks. And by the way, at the end of the day, when you complete this whole thing, I hope you will possibly receive a certification, by the way. But certification, you can have a certification, but if you can't do these things and demonstrate your knowledge and skills and value, so what is then a certificate? Right, that is very important. You will see the rubric. So the rubric, I will also have a rubric for content accuracy and I will also looking at, the marks is wrong there. It's not 20 marks, it's 50 marks. Your presentation for me is important. I want to see how clear and confident and well organized your group is, that with nice visuals, with a circular flow, and you explain that nice to us. And then I will also looking into your insights, because I will ask you questions. Me and the other groups will ask you questions. Go for it, and I think you will make it. If you choose project 1, then you will indicate that to me. Then secondly, poster. Now I like posters, right? So many of you are very creative. You are very innovative, and I believe. And please use your best juices to create this nice poster for me. You will see on my left-hand side, you will work in groups to 3 to 4, and you will draw a poster for me of the open economy. And you need to include all those things that we have discussed today. And I want to see how the money the goods, the service, and the resources are flowing amongst the role players. Your households, your business, your government, your financial institution, and your foreign markets. And by the way, you can give an example of what type of good. Né? If you want to import a particular good, you must tell me what type of good is that and what type of services. So you need to explain that. And in your written explanation, you must tell me exactly examples of what type of goods and what type of service and where the government getting the tax from, as I explained previously. Government is getting taxes from the individuals, the consumers, from the households, getting from business, and they're also getting from financial institutions, because banks have also to pay value-added tax and other taxes, right? So then you need also to present your project poster to the class. You will get between 3 and 5 minutes, and 5 minutes is very, very, very fast. So you need to be, and then each group needs to contribute. And you can see my rubric on the right-hand side. There's 5 criteria, and there's 50 marks. And so I like to give my learners in my classroom upfront the rubric, how will I assess this project, and I hope you will enjoy it. I am looking out for this project and the poster. And I want to thank you that you have listened. If you have any questions, you can ask me questions when we are live. And if you need further questions, you can write to me. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy my lesson. Thank you.